Welcome to StarScene Central. Exciting updates about Ben Affleck coming up. Don't miss out. Like and subscribe for more celebrity news. Back in the late 1990s, Ben Affleck and Gwyneth Paltrow were considered one of Hollywood's golden couples. Their relationship began in 1997, not long after Gwyneth's highly publicized breakup with Brad Pitt. She met Ben at a Miramax party, and at the time, he was on the brink of major success with the release of Good Will Hunting. The two quickly became an item, and while their relationship seemed picture-perfect to the outside world, the reality was more complicated. They dated on and off for about 3 years, officially calling it quits in 2000. Gwyneth has always had a reputation for being diplomatic about her exes, and she's maintained that approach with Ben as well. In a 2015 interview with Howard Stern, she praised his intelligence and talent, but admitted that he simply wasn't in the right place in his life to sustain a healthy relationship. According to her, Affleck just wasn't ready to be a boyfriend at that stage, despite the chemistry they shared. New details about their time together have now surfaced in a recent biography titled Gwyneth, the biography by Amy Odell. The book paints a picture of a relationship marked by both passion and problems. Odell writes that although Ben and Gwyneth shared an intellectual connection, Ben was dealing with serious personal struggles. At the time, he was reportedly battling alcoholism and had developed a gambling habit, which deeply affected their relationship. Friends of Gwyneth were apparently wary of Ben, noting that he didn't always seem to return her affection. In fact, some suggested he was more interested in playing video games with his buddies than spending quality time with Gwyneth. Still, the romantic spark between the two was undeniable. Gwyneth was reportedly open with close friends about the strong physical chemistry she shared with Ben. One anecdote in the book reveals that she once confided in celebrity makeup artist Kevin Aucoin, candidly praising a specific aspect of their sex life. This seems to line up with what she said years later in 2023 on the Call Her Daddy podcast, where she described Ben as technically excellent in bed. But even the most intense physical connection couldn't compensate for what the book describes as Ben's self-destructive impulses, which may have included infidelity. Their initial breakup came shortly after the release of Shakespeare in Love, a film that not only starred both actors, but also earned Gwyneth an Oscar for Best Actress. Though they briefly rekindled their romance, it didn't last. By October 2000, Ben's addiction issues reportedly resurfaced, and Gwyneth had started focusing more on her wellness routine, practicing Ashtanga yoga, meditating daily, and maintaining a strict diet. The contrast between their lifestyles became too much, and they broke up for good. Ben later entered rehab in 2001 and has spoken publicly about his long battle with alcoholism, which led to further stints in treatment in 2017 and 2018. As of now, he remains sober and has turned a new page in his life. His romantic journey has been well documented, from his early engagement to Jennifer Lopez in the early 2000s to his marriage to Jennifer Garner, with whom he shares 3 children, and eventually his reunion and brief marriage with Lopez in 2022. That relationship, too, ended in divorce just over 2 years later, in 2024. Meanwhile, Gwyneth moved on and found love with Coldplay frontman Chris Martin, marrying him in 2003 and having 2 children, Apple and Moses. Their conscious uncoupling made headlines in 2014, and today, Gwyneth is happily married to producer Brad Falchuk. The couple began dating in 2014 and tied the knot a few years later. Although Gwyneth and Ben's romance ultimately didn't last, it's clear that their story was full of complexity, a mix of admiration, undeniable chemistry, and emotional challenges. Looking back, it's one of those quintessential Hollywood relationships. Intense, glamorous, but ultimately unsustainable. Thanks for watching.